This is the crock rockin', nickelback poppin', curls for all the girls, the Perminator, Sam Beal. And I am on the Sit Down Marks podcast, and we're going to get some perfection today, baby.
Hey, yo.
If I can be serious for a minute.
Oh, yeah. Acknowledge me. What it is. Welcome, everybody. Come gather, my people. What's going on? It's been a little while since I've gotten to talk to you. Let's sit down and talk a little wrestling. It's episode number 116 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. We are 3 out of 4 here today. AJ is going to be doing the late run-in. So let me first off, man, producer of the show just had a birthday. Primo, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
So sprightly 25 years old.
Yes, so 25 years old.
Yeah.
I feel like it, let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure.
We're glad you're alive, so we're glad you had another birthday.
Appreciate it. Another trip around the world.
That's right. Michael, what's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I was telling you guys earlier, I woke up today and my neck decided it's going to be locked just in one place for the rest of the week. So, because, being old, and I slept slightly askew for like 20 seconds last night. It's a fun time. So now I'm self-medicating that problem away.
Self-medicating? You're full cowl.
Oh man, so a lot of things going on in the wrestling world. So let's jump right into it. AJ will come along here at some point. So obviously the big one, we just had SummerSlam up in Detroit, Michigan. Not too what was the last weekend? Yeah, last Saturday night. So I mean, I can't say I was excited for it. Because yes, I was busy. I didn't get to watch it. But even if I had, I'd probably watched it Saturday morning anyway. Nothing really kind of made me yearn to want to watch it. And after watching this, it kind of holds true. So let's just jump right into the card, man. Let's start. So they give us Logan Paul with his knockout of Ricochet by these brass knuckles that he got. That's how he ended up winning the match. So immediately I thought, okay, Logan Paul's in the opener, so he can get on a plane and go see his brother fight later on. So that totally makes sense. So,
smooth move there, yeah.
Yeah. This match, I don't know, just didn't do it for me. I expected way more. What did you guys think?
I'll let you go first, Primo.
I expected for Ricochet to carry Logan, and it's probably what happened a lot of the time. I didn't expect anything. They advertised it as a, I don't know, breathtaking, gravity-defying match, spectacle, but it was okay. I've seen way better. But yeah, it's fine. I didn't really care for it. But I know why they opened, obviously, for the reason you said. By the way, I wasn't excited about SummerSlam either. I think they did a shitty job marketing it this year. Right. I didn't even know what the card was.
Yeah. I didn't mind that being the opener because, I kind of have it like that Bischoff mentality. I kind of like something fast, leading off a card. So I was okay with it, but this was kind of just here, near or there. But what do you think, Michael?
Logan Paul is a great athlete, but he is a subpar professional wrestler. And don't get me wrong, he's not going to be a professional wrestler on a great level because he hasn't been doing this that long. But this is the problem with him jerking the curtain in a big four. You need your opening match to really pull people into the crowd, right? This match belonged in the death spot, the piss break match before the bloodline match, right? Honestly, right. I would have moved this around. I would have opened with either Finn and Seth, or I would have opened with the women's three-way. But yeah, this should not have jerked the curtain. Logan Paul's a good athlete, but I don't care. I don't care about Logan Paul, and I don't care about Ricochet right now. He's been made to look like a geek, so I don't care about him.
Yeah, I mean the kid's getting by on his athleticism. It looks like he's trying to do something, but I just feel like he's doing it for short term. He ain't here for putting in no Hall of Fame career, nothing like that. But
yeah.
All right, so match number 2, which I kind of thought they might lead to later. This is one of the bigger matches on the card. I'm just giving you results here. Cody pins Brock after 3 crossroads, despite Brock tearing his pants and his underwear hanging out.
Bro. I told Mrs. Primo, excuse me, that I was like, look, he's got on them dissolvable bathing suit shorts.
Those biodegradable booty shorts.
Oh my god.
Booty pants, nut huggers.
You know, honestly, I thought this was the match of the night, and the underwear thing just kind of sealed the deal for me. Like this match has everything I want to see in professional wrestling. It's telling a story. It's got great babyface fire. It's got the dominant heel. It's got the babyface in peril. It's got Brock giving the rubby rubs afterwards, and goddamn. And one observation I've noticed about Brock Lesnar, one, the more I see Brock Lesnar, the more I like Brock Lesnar. Just because, him going off script and putting Cody over like that's so fucking cool. So good on you. Good on you, Brock. But here's something that's fun about Brock Lesnar. You know how he's got this like massive, like muscly torso, right? And this giant, like jacked dude. Compare that to his legs, which on a normal human being would still be like enormous, right? But on Brock's body, they look like little toothpicks holding up like a potato. Don't get me wrong, his leg is probably about the same weight as I am.
Right.
But just on his body, it just doesn't look proportional, which is just kind of funny to me.
Right. So to me, this looks like, you're right. Brock put him over after this. They made a big deal out of it because Brock don't really ever do that too much. So he put the kid over at the end. Does this look like this is like going to be over? Or does this look like this is going to be kind of one of the big chapter in Cody's kind of starting to climb the ladder back to the title run? They can't just let him dissolve after.
No. But I do think this is him saying, all right, Cody he's reached that level.
Top tier.
He's top tier. He's part of the S class. He's becoming a spectacle like Brock was. You go to see Cody, you go to see Roman, you go to see Brock, those type of things. I think, Brock's a pro, obviously. He usually does well, I mean, there's stories of him, selling for people he doesn't even have any business selling for, and which tells you right there that he's a pro, and because he's a big dude, and in real life there's no way, but you know what I mean. So, but it was good. I had to agree with Michael that this was probably the match of the night, and even that I wasn't like blown away by it, but it was everything that it was expected to be. And I do think it's over between him and Brock, but it's a way to propel Cody into whatever's next.
Sure. My mom loved this match, so she watched. Well, she's here visiting, so we watched SummerSlam together,
Nice.
And she was like super pumped about Cody winning this one. Like because I'm always kind of like, leaning on the side of the heel, snatching victory.
So here's a question I have about this match. It's going to play into some other matches later. In WWE, is it not a DQ anymore to hit somebody with a foreign object outside of the ring?
Because they're doing it with the ref watching now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I took a steel chair and smashed someone in the face in the outside of the ring, that would be a DQ, right?
Absolutely should be. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they changed the rules on me or what's going on, but it happened several times tonight where someone was outside the ring, weapons, foreign objects, blah blah blah. But it was like, something's not sitting right here.
Right.
But
Yeah.
don't do it in front of the ref. That's all I'm saying. Don't bury the
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Probably most likely, my kind of match of the night too. Moving on next, probably the most over guy in the WWE right now, with everybody saying L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
He throws out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I agree with you, but go ahead. Go ahead with what you're saying.
He throws out Sheamus to win the Battle Royal that they basically kind of threw together the week of on Raw and SmackDown for. I don't even know what they get, a title shot, or
dude. This is what I'm saying. Like, where the hell did this come from?
I don't know. Like, right? They just wanted to give LA Knight something.
Yeah, it was a piss poor attempts to as a crowd pleaser. You wanted to give the crowd something for LA Knight, right? But why didn't you just give him a match that he could win? Give him the U.S. title that wasn't on the card, by the way.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It almost felt like when MVP came out that they actually forgot Omos was supposed to be in the match because it was so close together. It's like, oh shit! Wait a minute.
I forgot Omos was even around, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's just been I don't know. I got to be honest. There was not in a moment during SummerSlam except for certain heavily advertised matches that I was just like, oh yeah, I guess that's supposed to happen tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that, man. Like, the build to SummerSlam this year has just been horrible. I'm with you. I didn't even know what the full card was until I started watching it. And then I forgot Karrion Kross was still in the company.
He's grew his hair out a lot.
He looks like he should be in a boardroom somewhere. Like, what happened to him? He was a gimp and then he wasn't again.
Well, thank God he wasn't. That was terrible.
It looks like they're going to drag on him and AJ's feud.
Yeah. So they got a little thing going on. Was there a pre-show match? Do y'all know?
Was there a pre-show?
I hope not.
Yeah.
I
mean, they always have that little.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't even know if they still do matches during the pre-show.
That's probably where they stuffed the tag team titles because those also were not on here either.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the big pink fat elephant in the room, the big stinker of this pay-per-view here. I think this match, I think collectively has brought communities all together to agree that. Well, let's just talk about
these for this conversation.
So Shayna Baszler ended up beating Ronda by submission in this MMA rules match. So, Michael, let's let you go first on this one.
Oh boy. MMA does not work in sports entertainment. And there's a very real reason for this, is because MMA is a full-on combat sport that cannot be gimmicked or anything like that. And the reason for this is because if you're going to put two legitimate MMA fighters into a gimmicked match, they're going to move about 50% of speed because they have to, or they're going to kill each other. And WWE or any professional wrestling company, they can't have that because they have a lot of money invested in these people. So Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler were never going to go and have an MMA style match. And this was evident with a couple questions I want to ask Primo about how MMA works. And now I'm going to let you know, audience, that I know the answer to these questions already. I just want Primo's opinions about this. Primo.
Yes, sir.
How did you like Shayna's right roundhouse kick for the first knockdown?
Dude, I know that was your first question. Dude, so she kicks him a clean ass head kick, right?
Yep.
She kicks Ronda, and Ronda rolls out of the ring, collects herself for 2 seconds after a head kick, comes back in and resumes. She wasn't knocked silly at all.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Did you like how Shayna Baszler was the most disinterested person throwing that kick. Like, her face just looked like, I guess I'm doing this now.
It was like, leg lift, kapow. And then she
Right.
stood there and watched Ronda do what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and waited for her to come back. Yeah.
Next question for you, Primo. If I were to throw a right roundhouse, what noise and visual would you see if I was putting actual power into that kick?
There would be audible and also breathing technique in form.
Almost like I would be kicking through my target, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
And yeah, so if anyone who doesn't know MMA, when you strike, you'd hear a because you exhale on the strike. Okay, here's my next question for you, Primo. Ronda Rousey is a seasoned MMA fighter, right? She's had accolades.
She's one of the greatest of all time.
Why would such an MMA professional ever drop their guard around a striker?
Because they have a
wrestling
and they're friends.
Like, she hands next to hips a few times, like just complete open.
Yeah.
Take a shot.
Maybe she was just having PTSD from Holly Holm. I don't know. But
yeah,
this whole match,
this wasn't it. Yeah, this wasn't.
If anything, I felt bad for these women. Like, yeah, they shouldn't have done this.
We're trying to get Shayna over here, trying to put her over Ronda, but
give Ronda a farewell.
Yeah, we should have just had a wrestling match.
All right, I got one more question.
Stuck with what we knew.
Yeah,
I'll cut the rest of my questions because this is the one I really want to get your thought on.
Yeah.
Primo, how long does it take to make someone go unconscious in a blood choke?
Not very long at all. Like
about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Literal seconds. Yeah.
How long was Ronda Rousey in that choke?
Well,
it has to be drama and entertainment. Of course. No, yeah, I agree. The whole thing was a shit show. It was unfortunately another thing about MMA rules match in a WWE setting that's sports entertainment. It's going to be boring as hell.
Yeah.
No matter which way you put it. The way they try to dress it up in the past is the Lions Den match or the cage match with Rollins and Riddle. They try to make some kind of gimmick behind it with the cage itself, but the whole thing was like, I didn't know what to,
yeah, it just wasn't spot on. It looked very cranky. Like they were trying to fake something that they did all their lives for real.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're both legit badasses, right. And everybody knows it too. Right. So, like, what they were doing in the ring, I kind of like doesn't diminish that in any matter at all. But it kind of makes this match a whole parody of what they could actually do.
Maybe they should have had just like a wrestling match with like legal chokeholds or something. You know what I mean? Like or whatever,
or
like
a submission match, like
something that like touched on MMA, but
I quit match,
anything, so
something like
this was just off.
Primo, you said it perfectly. This was like a parody of what they could actually do. Now, if you didn't know anything about Shayna Baszler, are you gonna really watch this match and come off knowing that she's like a legitimate badass?
Right.
I mean,
no. I kind of felt like she knew that it didn't come off very well at the she looked disgusted, kind of.
They knew they laid a turd. You could tell they knew they laid a turd.
Yeah. All right, well, before we move on for this match, Primo, I hear that you have actually found some audio clip of the fans of Detroit during this actual match.
Yeah, it's a live crowd like audio that we have right here, exclusive for Sit Down Marks Podcast. Here it is, right here.
Are you sure that's live? Those crickets sound sweetened.
All right, let's talk about something a little better here. That's a little more hard hitting. What do you guys think about Gunther? He beat Drew to retain the Intercontinental title after a couple of power bombs.
See, this is where me and you guys will probably disagree. I'm honestly, I'm not over Gunther. I'm just ready for him to pass it on so he can move up.
No,
that's about it. But beyond that, like, how many times are they going to do Drew and Gunther?
Yeah, like they're out of opponents for Gunther at this point.
It's basically who are the actual brawling, hardest hitting people on the roster? Gunther, Sheamus, Drew, and that's all they got. You know?
Yeah. I mean, now I just want to see Tozawa take it. So
why don't they do Gunther Edge? What's wrong with that one?
Gunther.
There's nothing wrong with that because Edge could probably help Gunther with psychology.
Sure.
I don't know.
That'd be a fun one to watch.
I think Gunther's psychology is pretty good. He's pretty adaptable with whoever he's in the ring with. But you're right. Like Drew, and how many times are we gonna have to see it? It's the same time. It's the same match. Like
it's coming to a point to where like we do find novelty in the fact that every match that Gunther has is a powerhouse. Like he's beating the shit out of him. But like, yeah, that's every match. So like, at this point, we're becoming numb to it.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think Gunther needs to drop the belt so he can move up to the main event. He's a main eventer now. Like
yeah.
And he's done really good things for the IC championship. He's made it mean something again.
He just passed Honky Tonk Man, or is about to, for longest reigning, on the list. He's already in the top 5. I think he was moving up maybe or something. So.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple more weeks before he passes Honky.
Nice.
He's getting there.
So Seth Rollins retained the heavyweight title over Finn after a curb stomp on the Money in the Bank briefcase that ended up in the ring from Damian, acting like he was going to cash in or not or help with the briefcase. So, another chapter in the story of Judgment Day breaking up.
Yeah, turmoil with Judgment Day, basically. I was actually kind of hoping that Finn would win and then Damian would cash in on him, but I guess they don't want to pull that trigger yet.
That's what they should have done.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you were talking about, the live audio from Shayna and Ronda, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit crowd was cheering for Finn to win at the end. Like when he was going up for the coup de grace, they were wanting to see that title change hands. I don't know if this is just kind of a bit of a smarky crowd, but I don't know. I've often wondered to myself how long the Rollins character can stay relevant and stay popular. Don't get me wrong, Seth Rollins he's great in the ring. I think his character work has always been his biggest weakness. He can cut a decent promo, but yeah, his character work is not great. So I wonder how long he can actually stay in that spot, like on a main event, like, consistently featured level with that character. I think it's just run its course, and I think the Detroit crowd is feeling like it was time to switch it up.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a while. They're going to let them sing his song for quite a while now, probably until he finally cuts them off and goes back heel. But I mean, because he's, I guess, the biggest babyface on Raw right now. I mean, with the title most likely. Side note: the Payback poster just came out, and it's all Judgment Day, and it was the first time I looked at a wrestling poster from WWE in a while ago. That looks cool. Yeah, y'all should look it up. It's the Payback poster that's coming up here shortly.
Okay. I did check. There was no dark matches, according to the internets.
Oh, okay, cool. You got anything about Rollins over Finn, Primo?
Oh, just that what I thought should have happened. That I think Finn should have won, and they should have had Damian pull the trigger right then.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I mean, you never expect an initial title run like the inaugural title run for a championship to last very long, right? So that's
I do think it's funny that they're kind of teasing the briefcase with Finn also trying to win the title is putting a little poor Finn.
What do you think about little off topic here? Well, it's still with the Judgment Day. What do you think about JD McDonough? Potentially, Finn's protege potentially get in the mix.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they've mishandled the Judgment Day pretty badly since Edge left. You know what I mean? Like Edge was doing great in the role as the leader. Then they made it like the supernatural, spooky Judgment Day, and Edge was like, "Get me the fuck out of this. I don't want anything to do with this." And then Finn came in like after 6 weeks of the Judgment Day being a thing. Like they deposed the leader already.
I gotta tell you, the best thing about Judgment Day is Rhea and Dominic.
Oh, they're great.
Sure.
And by the way, I also love I love everybody in the Judgment Day.
Oh yeah, they're such a good group.
This has made Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and dude, when he grabs the microphone and he gets booed so loudly, it's the best thing. It's the best thing. Like he's doing it right.
Yeah. The Judgment Day has done a lot of good for 3 of 4 of the members. And Finn is just the company whipping boy. That's just what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a shame because he's such a super talented guy. Like he's still got so many years left in his career, and he's a really talented dude. And it
does seems like he takes a lot of lumps.
Yeah,
it does. And Rhea makes them legit. You know what I mean? Makes Judgment Day legit. The Dominic thing spin off is super funny. Damien's kind of the muscle. And and Finn's kind of like the kind of mastermind veteran. That kind of stuff. So I really like them as a faction, though.
While we're on it, why don't we talk about Finn going and getting the title off my boy? Or not Finn, excuse me, disregard. I apologize. Dominic. Sorry. Dominic going down to NXT and getting the North American title off of Wes Lee.
Yeah, they're trying to get some people watching NXT, man.
Yeah, that's basically what it is, right?
Yeah, that's the way I feel about that is.
Yeah. Because that Dominic didn't need that at all, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to give him his first ever singles run.
Sure. They recognize that heat. They know what they're doing. All right. So next up was the 3-way women's match: Bianca, Asuka, Charlotte. Bianca ended up winning the match on a roll up on Asuka to win the women's title, and then Io Sky cashes in her Money in the Bank briefcase to win the title with a moonsault.
So this is the match I thought was actually the most quiet, including Shayna and Ronda. Like for majority of the match, the audience did not care. They were, you could hear all the cheering and everything, but if you look at the fans in the hard cam, they're just sitting there staring. I know when Bianca won, AJ died a little inside wherever he was. You could just feel the disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
I don't think Bianca winning is good. I don't like the cash in right here. I think they should have seen that crowd and called an audible because it wasn't going to be the pop that EO should have been getting for that cash in. Bianca Belair is good. The Bianca experiment is just she's a bland baby face. She's got the hair twirls and she's the EST, which is a really heel gimmick. What?
The hair twirl?
No, the EST.
Oh, the EST of WWE, saying you're better than everyone?
Yeah, that's such a heel gimmick. Like
like the best there is, the best there was,
the best there ever will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very Narcissus, right? Like
for sure.
Lex Luger the narcissist. I'm better than you. It's an MJF level gimmick. But she twirls her hair and smiles a lot, so I guess that makes her face. I don't know. Logic in WWE makes no sense to me. Here's a question for you. All right, this is for both of you here because this is a serious question. I've never understood this or how this makes any sense. Primo, you and I are having a match, right? Now, you go to hit me with a chair in a just regular wrestling match. The ref sees it and pulls the chair out of your hands, right? And when he's like, gingerly sliding the chair back under the rope, you turn around and I missed you in the face with colored mist.
It's still going to be there when he turns around, right?
Yes. It doesn't. It's that invisible mist that disappears when you look at it. If you're the ref, knowing full well that I am the Great Muda or Asuka, would you not be like, come on?
Yeah. Unless you're getting framed.
All of a sudden you're just grasping at your eyes like in pain. How is that not a all right, you're DQ'd. Out of here. Get out of here, you. Like you remember when Eddie did the win game?
Eddie, that's the best. When he would throw the chair, like
and then he would like they would DQ people because they thought he got hit.
Yeah.
They didn't see it.
Yeah.
I love that.
So how is a ref so dumb and oblivious or just has like amnesia that they turn around and all of a sudden Charlotte Flair's face is covered in blue?
By rule, they didn't see it.
They're so focused on the shoulders, I guess, like
yeah, man.
She was looking right at her. It's the stairs on the outside.
This match itself, though, was a non thing for me. Like I didn't care.
Yeah.
It's the 3 best women they have on SmackDown. So that clearly the story's going to continue. Because they don't have really anybody else to do it. But I'll be honest. I don't know when the next time they're going to put a title on Charlotte. She's already got 14. So, I mean, I'm not to say she's not going to go down as like the most winningest champion ever, probably. But how many is they going to give her? Get her
probably
up to like 27?
No.
Or
did she once a year?
When did she just re-sign with WWE? Because she just re-signed recently, didn't she?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but honestly, Charlotte looks like $1 million, and if I was going to build a wrestling company, women's division, I would build it around Charlotte Flair. Like, to be perfectly honest, she's incredibly looks like a megastar. But you're right. Like, I don't remember who made the point, but someone said that you shouldn't say you're a 14-time champion because that means you lost it 13 times.
Right? Yeah.
I don't remember who said it.
That's good.
Someone smarter than me.
Yeah.
But Charlotte Flair is really good, and so is Asuka. And honestly, I don't like Bianca Belair's character because I don't get the character because it's a heel gimmick, but she's face, and it makes my stupid brain go crazy.
Gonna say, who was the technical heel in this match? Was it supposed to be Asuka?
I think it was Asuka. I mean, because it was heel face dynamic, right?
And Charlotte's best as a heel.
Yeah, she should not be face ever. She should be just like her dad, heel.
Yeah, she hasn't been leaning into it very hard lately, though. So she's a little.
She's kind of just been there. Yeah.
Yeah. She looks like she's phoning it in right now. And what do they got for her? I don't really blame her for that. Like, they don't really have anything juicy for her to sink her teeth into.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk main event, boys. So Roman ended up retaining the title, the undisputed title, after Jimmy Uso turned on Jay, and Jay was going for the pin on Roman. Jimmy pulled him out. He had the hoodie on. He revealed the hoodie back. It was Jimmy Uso. And then he attacked him, threw him back in the ring. I think Roman speared him through a table, I think, or something like that was the finish. And so, what'd you guys think about this chapter of the Bloodline?
Primo, go ahead, buddy.
Well, we know that Roman wasn't going to win. Or excuse me, I'm fucked up tonight.
Yeah.
We know that Jay wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
Man, I have my 2 brothers, and obviously you guys, but Michael, you have AJ, but it's like that hurts having your brother turn on you. Of all people.
second brother turn on him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was just like, fuck, dude, because Jay really is alone now. And but at the same time, I was like, man, I just watched the Ariel Helwani interview where they said that they wish they could do it in a WrestleMania match together against each other. So I was like, well, that lines up.
That'd be good.
So I'm interested to see where this goes. I'm interested to see, like, maybe here's what I think could possibly happen is Jimmy super kicks Jay to separate himself from Jay because they already said Jay can't be a singles champion or the tribal chief when he's a twin. So he's like releasing Jay. He's like kicking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pushing him away. Tough love.
That's fair. That'd be an interesting take on it. Like, honestly, with me, like, you're right. Like, there's no way Roman was losing that match, and the other betrayal was pretty obvious. Like, when you like really thought about it, because where's Jimmy at the whole time? Solo's there.
Yeah.
You know Solo's showing up. Where's Jimmy? You know he's
Right.
backstage somewhere. But honestly, like, I didn't like the end of the match. The rest of it was doing pretty well, but when Jimmy pulled him out, I just would have liked to see Jay just walk off in disbelief. Like, he just lost everything, and like, just at that point, just walk off, count out, let Roman retain, and you'll never know if Jay could have beaten Roman at that moment, instead of like having it solidified. So that way, Jay has a legitimate reason to come back and fight Roman again once he deals with Jimmy now. Because he could say, I had him beat, and I got screwed out of it. But you're like, yeah, that's the thing. You'll never know now. Now Roman put the nail in the coffin on it, and now he's going to feud with Jimmy anyway. So, the bloodline is long in the tooth at this point. It needs to be wrapped up. It should have been wrapped up on
Dude,
Mania.
In the press conference, they said they're only in chapter 3.
Yeah. And
Lord.
Paul Heyman said in baseball terms about the 4th inning. So that sounds like we got a while to go yet. Yeah, like I wasn't like super like surprised. Like it's like, oh, okay, brother turning on, cool. It's kind of a cool story. They laid it out all right, but I don't know. To me, like, this is your main event going home on SummerSlam. I don't know. I kind of wanted to see, I don't know, like something like, I don't know. That just made sense to be somewhere else, but I understand why they got to put it there. But I was just kind of like, it was like they progressed the story if that's what they were, like trying to get over. But I just felt like, it could
makes you want to tune into SmackDown.
Sure.
It doesn't though. It makes me want to
just
not
for that.
tune into SmackDown.
Just to see why Jimmy did it, and then you're like, oh, okay.
It's like 5 minutes at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think about the Detroit crowd? They were very quiet at times and somewhat loud at times. Somewhat.
I think they started off hot, but unfortunately, they had to start off with the Logan Paul Ricochet match, so it was like, take what you get. But then they just, we'll come back to it. That MMA rules match just sucked the wind out of them. Unfortunately, it did, and
match
then
number 5 just killed them.
And then later on, because they were in it for the, they tried to bring them back for the Rollins and Balor match.
They tried so hard.
They tried very hard, and they're 2 of the best in the world.
Yeah, they tried so hard to get that crowd back.
So, I think the crowd was just like, "What the fuck just happened?" I saw a picture of the amount of people.
This shit.
The amount of people that went to take a piss during the MMA match. It looks like they're evacuating a city.
There's like a line going out of the building, like not to the bathroom, to their cars, and they're getting in and going home.
Look like a free beer line.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, seriously,
Yeah.
like it was a tough crowd. It was a real tough crowd. It didn't help that they kind of opened the show on kind of a stinker. Yeah, give me Finn and Rollins to open. Give me Cody and Brock to open. Like honestly, Cody and Brock would have been the better opener. You know, good storyline, immediate payoff. You get the crowd amped up. You know, you're starting on a good feel good moment.
Yeah,
You got
babyface
your
going on
heel.
first.
Yeah, you got your heel going over first through Nux. Like
He pulled the old Floyd Mayweather.
because he wanted to go see his brother fight. Go beat
well,
up Nate
And
Diaz.
you know what's funny about that? He showed up to walk Jake down the aisle with in his wrestling gear.
All right.
Yeah, he was still in his wrestling gear. So he got on a private plane and flew all the way to wherever it was, I guess Vegas, or wherever, and then still had his wrestling gear on. He didn't
Detroit to
change mid-flight.
Vegas. Yeah.
you know why I was a little worried about this match with Logan Paul and Ricochet. It's not because, and like honestly, I don't care that Logan Paul is an internet celebrity. Who gives a crap? Like, they were making it a more of a drama storyline by bringing Ricochet's fiance into it. It's like, oh no, they're gonna keep going. Oh God, this is gonna happen again. No.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either at all. Like,
It's dirty
honestly,
to me.
they've done it to death too. Like WWE has done that storyline to death, and they need to just let it sit on the shelf for a couple years before they try it again.
All right, boys, it's time to smelly market, man. Overall, what is your 1 to 10 scale of SummerSlam before we move on? Michael.
Oh God, 3 out of 10. Dead crowd, and I don't blame them. Some of the more matches than not were just duds. Storylines I don't care about, and stuff just thrown together. All that compiled with a terrible build. Yeah, I'd say 3 out of 10. It was a bad show.
What do you got, Primo?
That's literally what I was gonna say. Was 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
Michael hit it right on the head. I said it before we started pre-pod. I thought this was a dud of a Big Four pay-per-view. Just marketing all over, man. Like I said, I think the marketing kind of stunk for this, for it being a Big Four.
Yeah.
Coming into it, like by the time they got to the triple threat women's match, I was like, wait, oh yeah, there's a women's match, because I forgot what the entire card was basically, except for a few matches. And I was just like, and then the card itself just didn't really deliver for me.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for this as a whole.
Yep. I really didn't either. I'm gonna give it a 5 because I liked Cody Brock. LA Knight got something at least on this pay-per-view.
That was mercy.
Right, yeah. Right. Rollins fan was good. It's, you know what I mean. So yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I would say very, very average. Out of 5, and then I think it was last night. Shinsuke is going to be Seth's next feud. Looks like, because he turned on him in the tag team.
Yeah. So now AJ gets to have his heart broken twice.
Yep. So yeah,
he's not here to defend himself.
Let's talk a little AEW. I've got a few notes of some things that's been going on lately. Keith Lee, man, I kind of think like I'm not a Keith Lee guy anymore. Like I just feel like like it's kind of rough watching him.
Man,
sometimes.
we've said this for a while now. He just talk about somebody who looks like they're phoning it in. He's had the I don't care face for a long time.
Kind of hard to blame him
at this point.
He hasn't really been featured or booked in anything.
You know, ever since Bearcat.
I mean, I'm not saying like he should be pushed to the moon. I don't know, but I was just kind of watching him lately. He's doing some of that stuff with Swerve, and I don't know. Just like I said, just seemed a little bit disinterested. Are you guys liking? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, he's still feuding with Swerve. How long ago did Swerve and their glory break
that's
up?
what
It
I'm
was
Right.
saying.
Yeah.
they they haven't done anything with him. Like, I don't blame anyone in AEW for like getting I don't care face on, because like they're not doing anything with most of their contracted talent.
They had to make a whole nother show.
Probably still making some sweet change though. I bet.
Oh, they're guaranteed contracts. Yeah.
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 But
I bet that's frustrating because you're not really busy, right?
Yeah, but you're a brand, right? So
yes.
if you ever want to go back to WWE or wherever else, you want to be able to market yourself.
Yeah, and that Primo, goddamn right. Thank you. That is something that a lot of people don't get about these guaranteed contracts. It's a poison pill because you are your brand. You're an independent contractor. Like, look at what happened with Matt Cardona, right? What a fucking turnaround.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Matt Cardona is the brand, and he knew he was better than Zack Ryder, and so he got out there and got in front of people and showed what he could do. But if you're not getting in front of people, no one's gonna fucking remember you, because
if he ever goes back to WWE, he's gonna make way more than he ever made before.
Good on him. But yeah, like, and wrestling fans have such short memories too, because like we're always getting hit with so much information all at once, that how many people have not been featured on WWE and AEW that you just forgot about? I forgot Rick Boogs was a thing.
Sure. Yeah.
I forgot Karrion Kross was a thing. I forgot how good Chad Gable was.
He's so good, and I'm ready for him to kind of break out of the Alpha Academy thing.
I think that's who Gunther's gonna feud with now. I think.
Yeah, it is. But dude is so talented.
Yeah, it'd be good matches, but
sorry, we kind of got off of AEW. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, let's move on to what about this? Are you guys liking this MJF Adam Cole best friend thing? No. There's been a few little times I've kind of smirked a little bit. It was kind of funny, some little, because they're being cheese balls. But
so people are going around and they're looking at certain things that Adam Cole does.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is what Adam Cole did before he turned on Roddy, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. They're putting in his ear.
Well, also, like, AEW to me right now is, I just can't with AEW right now.
It's WCW 2.0.
Yes.
Doesn't it feel that way? Doesn't it just feel that way?
I'll do you one better. It feels like TNA, which was WCW 2.0, TNA 2.0. Because it's like WCW 3.0, right? It's just, and I'll tell you the exact moment I just stopped caring about AEW. I don't even get mad about it anymore because I'm like, whatever. Blood and Guts. The Blood and Guts match, and this year, I stopped. I could not anymore at that point. It broke me.
I feel like they do that too much.
Yeah. And here, I was talking to AJ about this, and he can back me up if he comes on. When you're watching like a fight scene, Dirty, you were telling me once that you've got to suspend your disbelief on this kind of stuff, right? And I completely agree with you. And I know why that kind of like made me stop and think about this for a second. Let's say Primo and I are having a fight, right?
Okay.
And it's for like some big budget TV show. Say Primo and I are fighting on Game of Thrones, right? And all of a sudden, you just see a boom mic bobbing in nonstop. And then like you see like I get knocked back, but you obviously see the ropes I'm on like flying backwards.
Sure.
That to me is AEW in its entire production. Boom mics in shots that shouldn't be there. I'm not saying the athleticism isn't impressive. It's just, it's so jarringly cooperative and contrived that it just, I cannot anymore with it. But yeah, so that's why I can't with them anymore. And then going back to the Adam Cole MJF thing, that's just, I don't think it's funny. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think MJF needs to have a comedy shtick. I think he's already doing great as the top guy. Who's this helping? Is it helping Adam Cole? Like, MJF is already super over.
Right. I mean, and nobody believes he's going to win the belt. So, yeah, I don't really see how that's going over either. Well, let's talk about, like, 2 matches, though, I want to talk about that has been good lately on there that's really stuck out in my mind. First one being back, it was, I believe, middle of, July, FTR and Bullet Club Gold, which was Jay White and Juice Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Juice Robinson ended up taking the pin. FTR retained the titles, but one of the like big, awesome matches like I've seen in a while, like tag team wise, that was awesome. And then I'm glad that they're going back to Samoa Joe Punk because I feel like I really can't ever get too much of that. Like it's like I watched that like Fight Forever, you know what I mean? Like like I watch that all the time.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. What do you think of CM Punk, unbeaten champion with the X on it?
I love it. I absolutely love it. So there's a couple of reasons why, but real quick, FTR versus Bullet Club Gold. Yeah, amazing. That's a great feud right now. FTR is great. Jay White, Juice Robinson are doing great. That's a really good feud. Punk with the X belt now. I like that the X goes through the E in All Elite Wrestling. I thought that was funny. But yeah, it's really cool. And then we talked about this before the Owen Hart tournament finals. We made our predictions about it, and we all pretty much said that Punk's going to put him over. He's going to put the young guy over, and he did. And this is how you can tell that Punk doesn't care about like winning accolades or anything anymore because he doesn't. He's got his pro career. So I wonder what's going to happen with this belt. I mean, obviously he's got to challenge MJF at some point to unify, which is they have a great rivalry too. But it'd be interesting to see what they do with it. I think Punk eventually loses the belt to MJF, though, which would make the most amount of sense for young companies starting up. Put MJF over strong. I think that's what should happen. I'd like to hear what you guys think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see that, but for now, like I'd kind of let this thing stir for a while. He's already saying, I'm the real AEW's champion. I never lost it, all that kind of stuff. So I kind of like it. It's kind of like, almost kind of like, kind of separates Collision a little more as kind of like their own brand a little bit now,
Mm-hmm.
Even though you're seeing a lot of people on there and then, they're kind of using some other people and bringing them in and out. But I also wanted to mention too, we were talking about Rhea Ripley earlier. I think her and Buddy Murphy got engaged.
Yes, congrats to them.
I'm assuming that's his real name. Was his real name Buddy Murphy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Buddy Matthews.
I think it's Buddy something. I don't know. One second.
I was talking Buddy Murphy from
back in the day. It was Blake and Murphy.
Yeah, it was Blake and Murphy.
Matthew Adams.
Oh, there we go. I was way off. Awesome.
Buddy Murphy.
Whatever
he's good.
What do they call
real
him
good.
in AEW? Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, because he's Buddy Matthews in AEW.
Yeah.
Isn't he? I'm getting my buddies mixed up here.
Did you guys see?
I hate when my buddies get mixed up.
Did you guys see Rob Van Dam come in and put over Jungle Boy?
Oh, man.
For the love of God. Yeah. For the love of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing that happened.
Like, the old dog.
Like, honestly, again, I don't care. I just don't care about AEW anymore.
It's what it's usually like a sign of like being desperate is, keep reaching into the barrel of people when you have an entire roster backstage.
Yeah. They're FTR Young Bucks too. They're going back to that when FTR could be working with a bunch of other people, but I know they're still trying to, I don't know, put their big horses against each other, I guess.
They're trying to like capture this thing but it's just not working.
They're hot-shotting.
Yeah.
So I mean, like Dirty, you always like to bring up you're an NWA guy. The stuff that Tony Khan is doing, he's booking, and the way he's booking, this would have killed a territory because he's hot-shotting so heavily. Like, you're going to get diminishing returns. That's like, we were talking about the blood and guts match earlier, and Primo, you even said it. They do this way too much. Like, there's an interview with Moxley where he's like, well, if I can't have a good match without bleeding, I guess I'm going to bleed in every single match. It's like, you're there with the problem. Now really think about what you just said, John. Think about this for a second.
Yeah.
And like, they've burnt the crowd, and now the crowd demands more to the point where they're just gonna just bring a rifle into the ring and like just with bean bags in it and just stay down.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's they burnt it because they hotshotted too much. So yeah, this stuff would kill. This killed
fucking
WCW.
Jungle Boy still hasn't cut his hair.
Yeah,
no.
Dirty.
He's
You were
got
talking
them
about
heel
this.
curls on.
Oh
Yeah, he
God,
does.
That guy, he needs to go away. You mentioned WCW 2.0, and this is the exact garbage that killed WCW. All they need to do is bring in David Arquette, have him go over MJF, and we have the exact same situation. And there you go.
Right. And plus too, like, like I like watching AEW because it's an alternative to the mainstream what we watch with WWE. But I feel like too, like it's almost like I'm watching WCW too, but this time like there's more money backed behind it, so it can go with a loss for a while more than Turner could. So I think they got plenty of. That's what makes me think that they're fine because they got plenty of time to kind of figure it out. Like they need what do they need? Like a big, huge, like mega star. Do they need? They need a booker other than Big Daddy there that's behind the desk, Tony TK.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Like they no more big stars. They've already burnt out the star power. That there ain't gonna get any more pops from the big ratings like that. But
Right.
What they need to do is they need to really focus on what the hell is this show supposed to be. Like, are you a wrestling show? Are you a spot fest show? Are you ECW with your trash wrestling? Like, what are you supposed to be? Who are you marketing towards? Because if it's like lapsed wrestling fans, you lost them. They're gone. They ain't coming back to this. So one of the fun stats that's always out there, how big was wrestling in the Attitude Era, right? And those people are our age now. It's not like they just woke up one morning and said, wrestling's bullshit. I'm done with this. No, they were gradually driven off, and you can see it through ratings over the course of time. So there's still old wrestling fans out there. That's still a market to be captured, and AEW started off strong with that. They were capturing those lapsed wrestling fans, and then they AEW'd all over the place, and now they're down to 800,000 some views on Rampage and Dynamite, something like that.
Oh no. I mean,
they were just slinging that money around. Remember that big roster? Remember when we talked to Levi Cooper back in the days when they were just signing people up, and he's like talking about how big the roster was, like they didn't know what they were going to do with it. They were just snatching people up, trying to build a roster, which, I mean, you have to do if you're going to compete, then hopefully people come over, that kind of stuff.
But then you have to take that roster and really build something.
Yes, right. Thank you. And
right.
They're still pushing Orange Cassidy. They're still pushing Orange Cassidy.
He comes on every show first.
Every show.
Yeah, he comes out first.
So think about this. Just take a walk with me on this one, guys. You're flipping through the channels. You're like, oh, man, I'm just going to see what's on TV. And you see Orange Cassidy. And you're like, okay, I haven't seen this before. Let's see what's going on here. And you see him wrestle. and you're like, I'm never watching this again. If this is what the rest of this program's like, no. I will go find a rerun of Cops. So
yeah, most likely
like,
you're gonna be like, oh, like what is this? Making a mockery of wrestling kind of like.
Especially when you're talking about those lapsed wrestling fans, this is what drove them off in the first place, is people taking the piss out of something they love. You got the PG era, which is really when it all started going way, way, way down, right? Because it was just a mockery of professional wrestling. It was this very whitewashed, scrubbed clean, highly polished thing, when in WCW, old WCW, like Southern Wrestling and the Attitude Era, it was unpolished and it was dirty and it was crazy, and things could happen. But now it's so like,
yeah. Well, him coming out, I think, is AEW catering to their fans, because to their fans, he's fucking super over. Everybody loves to see him right now. He's kind of over with a little bit of everybody in the genre. He's can be a little bit of a fast style to start off the match. That's only the reason I think why he's
I think
we're seeing him so much.
He's safe. They're not taking risks.
Yeah, I mean,
the people that are watching, most of them love the gimmick. Most of them.
Well, I have got some fun information for you then, because that is not actually what ratings would suggest.
Okay.
So, because you can break it down by the quarter hour, right? And I'll agree, their core fans are very loyal. AEW has a very loyal base, and good on you. You like AEW, then you go and like your AEW.
I watch it all.
There are some things on AEW programming that regularly lose their loyal viewers, and then they'll come back the next quarter hour or something like that. Orange Cassidy's one of them. I hate to say this,
sure,
but the women's segments drive off people
lead
too.
Off.
And here's the other one. This is what I always get into trouble saying this, but like Young Bucks Elite segments and Blackpool Combat Club, they drive people off too.
What about Omega? What about Omega?
Omega, I don't remember off the top of my head. I have to look into that.
Yeah.
But specifically like Young Bucks, like Adam Page, that elite stuff, people are just kind of done with it. What brings people in though, bringing them in is like MJF brings people in, Darby Allin brings people in, Miro brings people in, Punk, FTR, Bullet Club Gold, they bring people in. Yeah. So Tony, being a stats guy, really should look at this stuff and correct his booking, or he's going to have WCW 3.0 in his hands, where he doesn't have Ted Turner money. He doesn't. And his ratings are not good enough to hold that spot on TV when they could do a lot cheaper stuff and get better ratings and more advertising dollars. That's just looking at the business side of things. But yeah, I'll give AEW this. Like, their fans are super loyal. It's just, hey, you ain't going to get any more. Not with that stuff. And that's all there is to it. It's been a 4-year experiment. You've capped out about 800,000 people. And that's totally fine if that's what you want to do, and you can stay on air with that.
All right, you guys got anything else before I talk about Dreamwave here?
No, man. That's all I got for AEW, especially. I mean, I gotta be honest, it took me forever to realize that they changed the name of the All Atlantic title to the International title.
It was kind of like this is what we're going to do, and we did it.
Yeah. It's just, honestly, the whole All Atlantic thing is just, that's Tony Khan right there to a T. You're not even thinking 2 steps ahead. You're just doing things. How could someone from Japan win the All Atlantic title? That
impulsive decision making.
Exactly. A multi-millionaire with too much ideas and not enough people telling him to one idea at a time. Right?
All right, so last weekend was a Dreamwave weekend. It looks like it's going to be a yearly thing. They did a double shot weekend. Friday night, Summer Spectacular. Saturday night was called Those Summer Nights. Just to kind of throw out some names that was there over the weekend. There was the guy that was in the match with Brian Pillman in the first ever Nitro. The Ultimo Dragon was there. Buff Bagwell. a girl very popular to this podcast. Her name is Mickey James.
Hardcore country.
Hit it one more time for the big fans out there. They love it.
Hardcore country.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. So, 2 nights. I just ended up staying in LaSalle for the weekend. This was big stuff, man. We had a lot of things going on. So let's talk about a little bit on Friday night. We had Matt Cardona that we were just talking about, Zack Ryder. He came down with Steph DeLander to take on Christian Rose for the Dreamwave title, but was unsuccessful. So, but it ended up being a really awesome match. They went about 15 minutes, I think. Probably the big win, the big win of the night was current AAA champion, depending on who you talk to, Vikingo. He won the Dreamwave alternative title from Gringo Loco in just an amazing display of gymnastic wrestling match that I've probably ever seen, man. It was just insane. I mean, all this you've seen him.
I've seen so somebody posted some TikToks of that exact match from Dreamwave.
Yeah.
And I watched it and it looks sick.
Yeah, Vikingo, like that kid has
the dude
balance
is a superhero.
like I've never seen. Yeah, yeah, his balance is incredible. It's amazing. LaSalle has kind of taken him as their own, man. They love him, like everything he does. They're all high-fiving him. You know, he's starting to get a lot of attention, and LaSalle's, kind of taking him as a little son, if you will. But I want to say too, and it looks like he's going to be around for a little while by winning the alternative title, so that's awesome. So we'll be seeing him more. Probably the biggest pop of Friday night. I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's a guy on the independent scene right now. His name is Bobby Orlando, and his gimmick is he's the goatest of all time, and he comes to the ring with a stuffed goat he calls Bobby Jr. on his back. And it gets
fantastic.
Yeah, and it gets, as you can imagine, it gets involved in matches. There was an epic picture taken over the weekend from Matt Tucker Photography where he took a picture and somebody had threw the goat in while Bobby was doing an elbow, and it looks like there's a double elbow coming from both sides. And, one of them's the goat. It was funny. Like everybody was talking about it. The Hype, 12 Gauge, and Hunter Holcraft won the Dreamwave Tag Team Championship, so that was a lot of fun. I believe that might have been Saturday, but we're kind of all coming in together. Vic Capri ended up winning the Battle Royal, so he will be in slot number 30 for the Good as Gold Rumble in December coming up, so only 2 shows away from that. So we had 2 women's scramble matches, one Friday, one Saturday. Both winners would take on each other on October the 14th. So some newcomers kind of onto the scene. Some girls kind of haven't been wrestling, I don't think, for very long, but had a really big weekend, man, and looking forward to their match. Zeta Steele is one of them, and Brittany Brooks is the other. So they're going to be going to battle on October 14th. For the Dreamwave Women's title, and they just announced there's going to be a certain lady named Medusa that's going to be there to present the title. How about that? Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Wait, you going Medusa or Lunder Blaze?
I don't know. I think she's advertised as Medusa. I'm not sure.
Well, I guess that would make sense. That's what she was known as later in her career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Val Capone was in the house. She's going to be doing some women's ring announcing for some of the women's divisions, so that was cool. Some of the kind of cool things I saw over the weekend, man, it just kind of blew my mind. Masha Slamovich is super nice. Sorry, I hope it doesn't ruin the gimmick, but she's really cool. I talked to her for a minute. Probably, and I kind of been watching these guys a little bit on YouTube. They've had some spots in NWA, but mostly in OVW, man. I don't know if you guys check these out. I got a shirt on. They're called the Outrunners. Truth Magnum and Turbo Floyd is their names.
I like that.
Yeah, they're a tag team out of Louisville, Kentucky, actually. And
Louisville,
yeah. And they kind of got their tights kind of remind me of Sting's old bright pink ones. They're kind of you take like everything you know about an 80s wrestler, you kind of put them into that kind of gimmick, and they're loud and crazy. They got a lot of energy. They're fucking running around and stuff. Anyway, I got to talk to them for a while. They were super cool. So I had fun with that. But I told the boys earlier pre-pod, but probably kind of the most surreal thing of the weekend, which was just one amazing thing after the other, because Buff Bagwell was awesome to talk to. He told me some, Nitro stories, and we got to talk football, and it was great. I was able to talk to Mickey James for a moment. My mom's a big Mickey James fan. She signed a picture for my mom and sent it to her, which I thought was really cool. And we got a picture together. But probably the most surreal thing to me, probably because it still feels new, but Alex Shelley not long ago just won the Impact title. If you've been watching wrestling for a while, you've been watching Alex Shelley. Well, I'm in the gorilla position. This will be my inside story of the week. I'm in the gorilla position, our gorilla position, I guess, and there's an elevator there for handicapped people that need to come up instead of using the stairs. They have to come up through there. So I'm just kind of standing there by the elevator, and I heard it open, but I didn't quite, see who it was. So I kind of looked over, and off the elevator, which his match was up next, but off walks Alex Shelley with the Impact title, and I was kind of like, ah! Like, it was cool. I'd never seen the Impact title before. It was really awesome to me that Alex finally was the Impact champion. So that was super, super, super cool feeling.
that's
awesome.
insane.
Yeah. Saturday night, by the way, Christian retained the title once again against Alex Hammerstone, which was a really good match there. So he went 2-0 for the weekend. So now let's talk about. I meant to tell you too. This was funny. Somebody had a sign at the LaSalle show that said, like, Steph DeLander. A lot of people call her SDL. Somebody had a sign that said Chelsea Green is greater than SDL, and so Stephanie's like parading around the ring, and they're just like flaunting it in her face, and they were. It looked like they were going to try to play keep away because they knew she was going to try to grab it and rip it up, right? And so like she ended up getting it, but I just thought that was kind of
That's
funny.
pretty great. Yeah.
All right, so Dreamwave only runs every 2 months. Yeah, and usually the tickets doesn't last very long. For the tickets, usually, I think the record coming into this October show was 30 or 40 days away from the show selling out. So just a little over a month, somewhere around a month. So they sold out like a month ahead of time a lot. You know what I mean? All right, so on Saturday after the show, Dreamwave always likes to release the poster for the next show. Well, turns out the big special guest for the October show is going to be none other than Primo, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Man,
Woo!
that's crazy, dude.
Right, and to show you that he's still pulling that much, dude. Crazy. They sold out tickets in 3 hours. They went on sale at 10 and they were gone by 1.
Wow.
Like 3 hours, man. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
That's Bret Hart.
Yeah.
That's Bret Hart for you.
Right. And
hey,
go ahead.
I got a question for you. You remember a couple months ago when Adam Page and Punk were having their little spat, right? And Adam Page was talking about you're just pretty much dumping on Bret Hart, right? And I said that Adam Page would never be the draw Bret Hart is. 3 hours. There you go.
Right.
Is Adam Page selling up buildings in 3 hours? No, sir, he is not.
Right.
Bret Hart, having been retired for years, is on a poster, and the people are like, yes.
Right. Yeah, he's dead center on the poster, sold out in 3 hours. I think there are still maybe autograph. You can come in and get an autograph from him without actually going to the show, which is different than a lot of other shows. So, but yeah, man, 3 hours, sold that place out in 3 hours. It's crazy. Medusa's going to be there. Colt Cabana is on the card. Brian Keith, I think, is coming back. We're doing the big, it's going to be the reveal, and they're going to crown the first ever Dreamwave Women's champion. So, yeah, big stuff. Davey Vega's coming over, I think, maybe for the first time in a while. So, amongst everything else going on, but yeah, that's pretty sick, man. That's pretty crazy.
That's
like
really
I
cool.
like yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. So, and to tell you that I might be in
around
Bret Hart is pretty awesome feeling.
Dude,
yeah.
No, yeah, I probably am, man.
Excuse me,
yeah.
for I have just shit my pants.
They're
Says
probably
Dirty.
like, I understand.
Yeah.
I have that
Probably
effect on people.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
Not the first one, kid.
Yeah.
Because you can, that'd be awesome.
I take that in a heartbeat, but
heartbeat.
Heartbeat, yeah, there we go.
Damn, zingers.
But yeah, man, awesome. Check out Dreamwave Wrestling. They just released their 2024 dates. If anybody listens to this, man, come to the South, check it out, man. It's awesome. These cards are unbelievable. Jay's the best booker I've ever seen in my life, best promoter. It's the best job I ever had. It was awesome. Like, I feel, I'm meeting my, childhood, people I grew up watching wrestling, and it's awesome, man. So, but yeah, so thank you, Dreamwave, October 14th. I think there's, but otherwise, man, you can still see the show on IWTV, Independent Wrestling TV. I think it is independentwrestlingtv.com, something like that. So if you Google it, you'll figure it out. So but it's going to be on there October 14th. So, one thing I want to mention here, a couple notes here on the way out, boys. Let's talk about. Did you guys ever see Exotic Adrian Street wrestle?
I never saw Adrian Street wrestle, but I've definitely heard stories about Adrian Street.
Okay, nutshell, because I'm old enough. He was like a 70s and 80s wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, imagine little DB. Okay, born in 1975.
I'm imagining.
Okay,
1875.
Right.
When I first saw Hackenschmidt in person,
All right, so check it, right? Like 1982, 83, he's Adrian Street is like one of the heels I remember. He was being real flamboyant, not gay, but being the gay persona. You know what I mean? Like, that was his gimmick, right? Mm-hmm. All right, well, what a lot of people don't know about him is he was like, and I'm sure there's other dudes out there that has to be just like me. And I always thought of this every time I heard of Adrian Street. So whenever I heard that he died, I was like, oh, shit. So Adrian Street was the first time I ever seen a dude kiss another dude on TV, because Adrian's thing was to break up a pin. He would like grab them and try to kiss them. And then it would be like, yeah, like get off me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that was like his gimmick to get out of pins. And then every time, now and again, he would get them, on the cheek or on the, you know what I mean? Like, so I just thought it was, I always remember that, like him, doing some of that stuff. And it was funny. It's like first time I saw that on TV. Like, whoa, look at this dude. He is crazy. Like,
And of course, yeah, it was a different time
Yeah.
back then. So I was like,
right? Yeah, God, yeah,
Nuclear heat on Adrian Street for
Yeah.
that stuff.
right, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
plus
nowadays
he was
we'd be like, oh, look at this guy being progressive.
like,
Right. He would probably be my favorite wrestler now if
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah.
he was
Be
ahead
a
of
crowd
his time.
favorite.
Right.
what's funny too, like, wasn't he like a legitimate shooter too?
I don't know. I know he was pretty thick and solid, but I don't, I'm not sure.
I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
But real quick, you mentioned you watched all these people when you were a kid. Like you're not watching Bret Hart matches now. Get out of here! Come on.
Oh, right.
You're
Yeah.
trying
Of
to
course.
fool. I
Yeah,
watched a Bret Hart
yeah.
match last night. Like, don't you
And
start with me.
Stone Cold and Bret Hart WrestleMania
Oh,
13
my
is in my
God.
rotation. It's in my pastime
Jesus.
rotation. Like
Yeah.
all the time. I love Bret. I love him. All
I
right,
can
so
seriously still watch Buff Bagwell today too. Like, I love Buff Bagwell.
yeah, dude's still in great shape, man. He's super nice. I always like him when they're super nice. All right, so just a couple notes on the way out. Primo, I meant to ask you last episode. Are you still watching Heels? And is it any good? Should I watch it?
Well, the first season was good. I haven't seen the new season yet. I'm gonna start watching it though soon. I've
Okay,
just
so
been kind of busy
So they've only did one.
so far.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
But the first season was good, and in fact, CM Punk's in that season.
I have access to watch that first one. I was going to ask you.
He's like CM Punk's in that season. It's funny, and also this is around the time. It's funny because that season was released around the time they did the Ric Flair Dark Side of the Ring episode or whatever it was, where they got in trouble for the helicopter thing.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And, and there's kind of a play on that in that show, so it's kind of funny. But overall, it's actually not meant to be like a comedy. It's supposed to be like a kind of a series, like a dramatic take on indie wrestling. So, I mean, it's made by Stars. So,
Yeah.
Wait, it's called Heels, but it's supposed to be a dramatic, serious take on it. But they're using a insider term to explain.
Yeah, it's good though. I like it.
Insider term to try to draw us marks into, probably.
Well, it's by Stephen Amell, who he's smart to the smart to the business.
I like Stephen Amell. He's good.
So,
What about Dark Side of the Ring? You guys see Bash to the Beach or Bam Bam? Any of
I didn't
those lately?
see either one of those. Actually, I need to.
I need to get caught up. I just saw Adrian Adonis, and I just saw Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Bam Bam is more of a tragedy than anything. Like, that poor son of a bitch. Like, he didn't even intend to get all fucked up. He just wanted to do his job, right? And then, he gets handed a bunch of painkillers by a doctor, and by his own admission, he's not that smart of a guy. So he's like, doctor told me to take him, so I took him. Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Adrian
Catch up
Adonis.
on that.
Yeah, it's good. Adrian Adonis, though, sounded like he was just a total asshole. Like, and who was it? It was Spivey. Just uppercutted him out of his boots. Is that what happened?
Yeah, fucking shot on him. Yeah, Dangerous Dan Spivey. Yeah, I
Hey,
watched the Bash at the Beach one. I haven't caught Bam Bam's yet.
I need to catch up on that. I need to catch up on Ultimate Fighter. I'm like 2 episodes behind on that, I think.
I'm pretty sure you got your MMA fix already this week, Primo. Hey, Primo, second question for you. How long would you be able to sit on the mat in an MMA fight before the ref just called the fight?
And not do shit? Like, what the hell? Oh, yeah, and that's another thing, too, is, well, we're not even going to go back into this. No, it was shit, okay?
SummerSlam?
Yes.
It wasn't good.
Real quick though, how about before we go home? How about a year ago when we thought that somebody told you, "Hey, about a year from now, Dominic Mysterio is going to be like one of the biggest heels."
The biggest heel in WWE.
Right. Probably WWE, maybe in wrestling right now because he's getting so much heat. But
Yeah.
you'd have never believed that at all, man. It was
I mean,
awesome.
I was discounting him back then.
Sure.
That feels like such a Triple H project. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
because there's no way Vince did that. Like that sounds like a Triple H.
The fact that go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say I'll do you another one. Remember a year ago when Vince left and SummerSlam was run by Triple H and it was amazing. And now here we are a year later with Vinnie Mac back in charge.
Yeah. And I just want to see. I want to see LA Knight go for like the U.S. title or something. I think that'd be fun right now. Slow burn him. See if it stays. See if it sticks.
I don't know.
What you think of that? What did you think of that Miz and in LA Knight promo exchange? That's pretty good.
The Miz.
I like the Miz though. So
yeah.
Here's my problem with the Miz though. Like he's a good promo, right? He's good in the ring. He's safe and he's the steady hand, right?
Yeah.
I cannot take him seriously as a heel. Like he looks like such a nice guy. Like he looks like someone that would help you like carry your groceries up to like a 5-story apartment.
Sure.
I've watched so much damn Miz and Mrs. He's
my
daughter's favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he looks all American. Right.
He seriously just looks like a genuinely good dude. And it's like the same problem I had with Yokozuna. Like I couldn't take him seriously because like he just looks like such a nice guy.
Right.
Unless you're a jobber, then he will crush you.
All right, boys. I think that's going to do it for today. Let's wrap this thing on up. Looks like AJ stood us up, so fuck that piece of shit. I'm going to shoot on him next time I see him.
You got to give him like the old double leg takedown?
I'm going to put him in the pretzel.
Give him
the old Shayna Baszler roundhouse.
I was just going to say that. Don't go for the blood choke, though. It's going to take 10 minutes to knock him out with it.
Yeah.
All right, so next month we'll be back in September, early September, to talk about. We'll brush up on All In and All Out, and also we'll talk about WWE Payback as well, which will be just coming off that. So a little bit of a lull towards the end of the summer, getting into the end of the year right now for
the fall. Thank goodness.
Yeah, for the fall coming up for WWE. So. All right, boys. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you guys. Appreciate your attendance and insight as usual.
Yeah, baby.
Always happy to provide it.
Tell the masses goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye,
masses.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you again to Dreamwave.
See you next time.
See you guys all next time.
We'll see ya.